You may have heard the news that Nikola Motors is now partnering with General Motors, outsourcing the production of their Badger pickup truck and semi-trucks. Or the paper that the Hindenburg Research Group just published on the company, which we will dig deeper into later in this video. Nikola is giving us all a masterclass in doing absolutely nothing whilst outsourcing everything of value while still getting paid. Well, not in revenue, but in some other interesting ways that you will soon learn more about. Also, only a small percentage of people who watch my videos are actually subscribed, so if you end up liking this video, consider subscribing. It's free and you can always change your mind. Nikola's business model seemingly changes every few months, and I would like to dig a little deeper into what this company really offers their customers and investors, both now and in the future. So let's begin with the fact that GM has purchased a small stake in Nikola worth $2 billion, paid for by certain in-kind contributions. Basically meaning that GM got an 11% stake in the company for promising to manufacture the Nikola Badger. Nothing more, nothing less. It was a surprise to many when this news broke out, but if you think about it, it truly makes sense for both parties. On GM's side, they got seriously good marketing, and it tells consumers that they are serious about electrifying their vehicles, which is exactly what investors need to hear as well. On Nikola's side, they also pleased investors as they now have a way to manufacture their vehicles. And I think you can see that reflected in their stock price when the news broke that they are working with GM. Interestingly though, Nikola is not going to engineer or design their own trucks. Instead, they will be responsible for sales and marketing. So just to clarify, a $15 billion marketing company is what Nikola wants to be portrayed as, which is fine, but does that valuation make sense when you have nothing to offer but marketing for trucks? I'll let you decide the answer to that question.
Nikola shares are tumbling after a short seller called the company, quote, an intricate fraud built on dozens of lies. Fairly harsh words there, Phil.
Oh, harsh words, Tyler. And that quote that you read came from Hindenburg Research. This is the report on Nikola. It's fairly hefty. The company has made false statements. It has rigged its truck reveals, and it's had misleading demonstrations, specifically revolving.
As you can probably hear, it has turned into a giant bloodbath for Nikola and their founder, Trevor Milton. After this report came out from Hindenburg Research Group, they have truly done their research, and they have uncovered a bunch of lies, fraudulent activities, and questionable behavior from this company. So let's start digging a little deeper into this information and see why it had such a devastating effect on Nikola's stock price when it was released. Let's start with the one that I find the funniest. In the face of growing skepticism over the functionality of its trucks, Nikola staged a video called Nikola 1 in Motion, which showed the semi-truck cruising on a road at a high rate of speed. Hindenburg's research of the site and text messages from a former employee revealed that the video was deceiving, to say the least. Nikola had the truck towed to the top of a hill on a remote stretch of road and simply filmed it rolling down the hill, which, if you ask me, is literally what a 5-year-old would think to do if they wanted to show that their toy car could drive. In October 2019, Nikola announced it would revolutionize the battery industry. This was to be done through a pending acquisition, but the deal fell through when Nikola realized A, the technology was vaporware, and B, the president of the battery company had been indicted months earlier over allegations that he used his expense account from NASA to procure numerous prostitutes. It is interesting to me you would choose to work with someone who had been indicted months prior for doing something like that, considering it was all public information and was only a few Google searches away. Trevor continued to publicly hype the technology even after becoming aware of these issues. The revolutionary battery technology never existed. Now Nikola plans to use GM's battery technology instead, which, if you have seen GM's battery presentation earlier this year, you would know. It's truly revolutionary. It's truly revolutionary. In addition to now using GM's truly magnificent battery technology, Nikola seeks to use the automaker's production and fuel cell capabilities. Nikola seems to be bringing nothing to the partnership but concept designs, their brand name, and up to $700 million, which will be paid to GM for costs related to production. But as you may know, hydrogen is what Nikola truly is passionate about. Well, at least currently. So inexpensive hydrogen is fundamental to the success of Nikola's business model. Trevor has claimed in a presentation to hundreds of people and in multiple interviews to have succeeded at cutting the cost of hydrogen by 81% compared to peers and to already be producing hydrogen. Currently, you pay around $14 to $16 per kilogram of hydrogen, but with these claims, Nikola would be producing it for under $3. The problem is that Nikola has not produced hydrogen at this price or at any price, as he later admitted when pressed by media, which makes sense. Having such reductions in the price of hydrogen with only vaporware to show for it is simply not possible. Interestingly though, Trevor has appointed his brother, Travis, as director of hydrogen production and infrastructure to oversee this critical part of the business. Travis's prior experience has largely consisted of pouring concrete driveways and doing subcontractor work on home renovations in Hawaii. Seems to be a great employee, truly qualified for his position if you ask me. Here is another funny one. Trevor claimed that Nikola's headquarters has 3.5 megawatts of solar panels on its roof, producing energy, though aerial photos of the roof and later media reports show that these supposed panels don't exist. It seems Trevor forgot that satellites were a thing when he made these claims. Well, anyone can make a mistake, right? Wait, what is this? At one point, Nikola claimed to own its own natural gas wells. There is no evidence in company filings to support this. The claims were eventually quietly removed from Nikola's website. Seems that Trevor and Nikola just make these claims for fun and to see what they can get away with. Including this. Trevor claims Nikola designs all key components in-house, but they appear to simply be buying or licensing them from third parties. One example, Hindenburg Research Group found that Nikola actually buys inverters from a company called Cascadia. In a video showing off its in-house inverters, Nikola concealed the Cascadia label with a piece of masking tape, which again is something a 5-year-old would think of. I mean, if you're going to scam and lie to your investors, at least give it some effort. They make claims that are so easily refuted. For example, in a podcast from July of this year, Trevor said this regarding the Nikola tray truck. We have 5 of them coming off the assembly line right now in Ulm, Germany. Unfortunately for Nikola, a spokesperson for Bosch, the manufacturing partner building the trucks, confirmed this month that they haven't made any trucks yet. I mean, is it that hard to claim something that can't be refuted so easily? To give them some credit though, they have made some claims that are a little more difficult to refute. An example of this would be Nikola's much touted multi-billion-dollar order book, which is practically non-existent. US Express reportedly accounts for a third of Nikola's reservations, representing $3.5 billion in orders. The problem arises when you look at the fact that US Express had only 1.3 million in cash on hand last quarter, meaning a reservation of that magnitude would be impossible for them. Also, Nikola's reservations for their trucks somehow are worth billions of dollars, though none of the reservation holders had to give up any reservation fees of any kind, meaning you could practically go on their website and order $1 billion worth of trucks and not have to show anything for it, and they would count that as a valid pre-order. But let's take a step back here. What does their key partners think of the company? Well, Nikola's key partners and backers have been cashing out aggressively. Worthington, Bosch and Valuation have all sold shares. Worthington sold $237 million worth of shares over a 2-day span in July, and another $250 million in August. It doesn't seem that these partners are very keen on staying invested in this company, and since they have more insight than we do, they might know a thing or two about this company that we don't, making the decision to sell off Nikola stock suspicious. But they were not the only ones to sell off stock. Trevor Milton has cashed out $70 million right after the company IPO'd, and his remaining shares are only locked up for a 180-day period, meaning we could see a huge sell-off from Trevor very soon. Though if he is fired prematurely, he will receive $20 million over 2 years, which to an investor should raise some red flags. But all of this begs the question of what Nikola will do now that all of their questionable and fraudulent behavior has been exposed.
Hey, what's up everyone? So first of all, you know, I never take any bullshit. I come straight at everything I ever have done. Never back down on anything. I have all the rebuttals done. I can't send them out to you guys. But look, I want you to know that it sucks. It hurts. I know. I'm super mad, and there's nothing I can do about it for a little bit, okay? You gotta give me some time. It's not in my hands, it's in the hands of the attorneys in the SEC.
This is exactly why I waited a couple of days before making this video, since my predictions were that they will handle it childly and not address any of the allegations that have been put against them. Trevor has been infamous for banning everyone that even questions Nikola or him on Twitter. So now that he can't hide anymore, he tries to put it off on the attorneys, saying he can't do anything because of them, which is just plain wrong. He has nothing that can prove the opposite of what these allegations are pointing towards, otherwise it wouldn't take so long to come up with a response. And funny enough, he changed his mind within a couple of hours regarding this, going from "I will be posting a response within a few hours, just give me some time," to "Our response will be short and sparse, but that is just because of the SEC and our attorneys." Sure, Trevor, it has nothing to do with the fact you have no other option but to try and hide. But I will give this company and Trevor a chance if they come forward with a response to every single allegation that has been put against them, with factual information that can be verified. And if Trevor or Nikola somehow are still confused as to what they need to refute or clarify, they just need to ask Hindenburg Research Group, and they have 53 questions lined up we need answers to.